So guys, in this video, we are going to be unlocking how you can get Olympic level body position in the water. There's so many misconceptions around body position, and I experienced one of these at firsthand. For years upon years, I had this stroking flaw in my catch, and my coach used to spend so much time trying to get me to bring my hand in and trying to fix up my catch, when in reality, it was coming from my body position. Now, body position is very foundational. It's very beginner phase of the stroking development, which is great news for you watching, because that means that you can get it quite quickly. It doesn't take that long to get. Catching and those kind of things are more what we call advanced skills, but body position, I truly believe if you follow our 3-step framework that we're about to take you through, you will be able to unlock body position so much easier, so much faster, which means then you can progress into what we call advanced skills in catching. So there's a massive difference between a swimmer that has a good body position and a swimmer that has a bad body position. Now, if you have a good body position, you're gonna feel more easier, more effortless, faster, put in less effort for the same time. That's the feeling we're trying to get to when we really nail our body position. Now, a simple framework we like to follow is what we call the 4 H's. Now, you have your heels, you have your hips, you have your head, and you have your hands. Now, if I put a video camera on most swimmers watching this, I could almost put a 100% guarantee on it that your heels are lower than your hands in the water. But what that means is you are an uphill swimmer. And I'm just gonna ask you a very simple question. Do you like running uphill? I hope the answer is no. Of course we wanna run downhill. Downhill's easier, more effortless. We don't have to put in the same time. It's the same thought process with our swimming. So the point of the body position is what we're trying to do is to get the weight off the heels and get you tipping more forward in your stroke, so then you can catch from a downhill position, which sets you up for massive success in your swimming. This is for anybody, not just competitive swimmers. But if you miss those junior competitive years or those foundational levels of swimming, you're probably going to find it a little bit harder than some will. If you haven't done any kind of gymnastics or ballet or haven't done much core stuff, you're probably going to find it a little bit harder than other people. But the good news is you can make it harder and harder as you go. You can start easy and progress it, and we're going to show you how to do that by following our 3-step framework. So let's go and get into it. We are very lucky here. I have a good friend of mine and actually one of our tutors, Joshua Parrish, national level swimmer. And I'm really excited because a lot of you guys are wondering, how do I actually get my body straight? What do I do? What does this chest down thing mean? So I'm going to show you through it right now. So I'm going to get Josh. Josh, you're just going to turn on your side. He's going to be a great demonstrator for us today. So the first thing we want to be thinking about is what we call chest down. Okay, now that is what we call chest down, is this feeling here. It's not an arch back like that, because you can see here, he's got quite a big lumbar in his back, which this just means water on the back, which is creating unnecessary drag. And guys, we don't want that in swimming. Okay, so swimming's a little bit different to normal life. In normal life, in gym programs, we want to have a little bit of lumbar in our back because that gets the compression off those discs. But in swimming, what we want to do is straighten our back, which sometimes can cause a little bit of back trouble, and I hope it doesn't. That's why you want to make sure you strengthen your glutes and hamstrings and stuff like that. But what we want to do is make sure we're getting that chest down. So this feeling here, you can see Josh has had many years as a swimmer, so he's quite naturally like that. Number 2 is holding the tummy on nice and tight. This is the glue to what you see here. This is what holds it all together. And then number 3, I'm gonna put my fingers on his chin, and we wanna push that chin back a little bit, almost like a bit of a double chin here, and that's gonna keep him in line. So if we drew a straight line from his head down to his heels, we would see that he's nice and straight through here. Now, this is how you unlock a very successful body position in the water, because you think about it, if he can bring this into the water, he's gonna pierce through that water, he's gonna have a nice bow wave off his head, he's not gonna bounce, and he's gonna go forwards in the water. If you just have a look at any swimmer or any Olympian or any high-level swimmer, they're very quite naturally postured, quite naturally straight people. And the good news is you can work on this at school, you can work on this at work, you can work on this when you go to the gym, and making sure that we're always getting that chest down feeling, we're getting that tummy nice and tight, and we're getting that chin back like that, so we're nice and straight like our good demonstrator here, Josh Parrish. So part 2 of the framework is what we call floating. Now, floating is the easiest way. Josh, we teach our kids this all the time, and our adult swimmers and that all the time, on how to float properly. So the easiest version of this, guys, is having that pool buoy in between the legs, like we have Josh here. And what we want to do is bring that same feeling we were just practicing on land, those 3 cues, the chest down, the tummy nice and tight, and the chin back. And you guys will see when Josh nails this, we will see such a nice straight pencil in the water and a very nice plank of wood, I like to say, in the water that's ready to pierce through that water. Because the first thing we're looking for, again, is those 4 H's. We have our heels, we have our hips, we have our head, we have our hands. Now we can see here, Josh's heels aren't quite on top of the surface there, but Josh, just pop your heels up and point those toes. So see, just a simple correction. Now we have that nice straight swimmer. So what he is doing now is building the strength in that core. You guys want to spend about 5 to 10 minutes per week in this position. And that's going to start getting you used to the feeling of what it feels to be nice and straight in the water. So guys, this is something that should be quite relaxing, okay? We're not doing miles, we're not doing laps. All as we're doing is getting used to the feeling of that connection in our core. Now this is no kicking. This is just pull buoy simply between the legs, and some later videos will show you the more advanced version. But what we want to do is just practice getting used to some vertical time in this position, really practice our floating. Now guys, it would be a lot easier if you had a snorkel on. You don't have to keep popping your head up like Josh is here. What you can do is just have that snorkel on and really practice that nice straight body to get that downhill swimming, to set your swimming up for success. So part 3, guys, of this framework is bringing this into our slow swimming. So Joshy's got a pull buoy on here because we want to try and get that over-exaggerated feeling of getting those hips up in the water. So you can see here, he's quite heavy in the back end, which is not what I like. So I'm going to give him a little bit of correction. And by the way, guys, I did tell him to be a bit heavier in the back end. So Josh, that wasn't your best swimming, but I did tell you to do that, didn't I? Now, what we want to do is now bring the cues into place. We've got that chest down feeling. Let's show them, Josh, that chest down feeling. We've got that tummy nice and tight. And now we're going to get that chin back so we can get that nice little bow wave off the water so we can pierce through the water. Again, we've got the pull buoy in to make it a little bit easier because that's what we want to do. So we're going to take that into this next lap and let's see the progression that he's able to do just by focusing on those 3 things. So the first thing you see is his hips are definitely up higher in the water, and the biggest thing I want you to see is how his catch position now is a lot lower in the water. So now he's starting to catch from that downhill positioning. So on this last one, I've really told him to exaggerate it even more, and you can see how nice and straight his body is here in the water. I'm really, really happy with this. And what you want to do is get a little bit of repetition in this position so you can really start creating that good movement pattern. So guys, think about how many laps we do in a session. A swimmer can be swimming anywhere from 2K to 7K per session. So if you can start to get more time in straightening up this body, think about how much more better your quality of laps are going to be. If you can increase it by 10%, if your stroke counts can come down a little bit, if swimming can start feeling easier, you are starting to build a really good habit in that body position. And then when you're not thinking about it as much anymore, then it's becoming a habit, which means you don't have to really think about it anymore. So now follow the 3-step framework. You guys can now use this yourselves, go out and get to work. We'll see you in the next video.